Welcome to the garden. Today is June 1st, Thursday, and I'm out here in the garden just doing some little maintenance and checking on things. I thought I'd come on and show you guys an update on how our zucchinis are doing and just a new method that I'm trying this year. So come along. Welcome to June 1st, little babies. Can you believe how tall this corn is? It's beautiful. So this year I wanted to try a new method that I've read about. Here, I'll start over here. We have our heirloom Cherokee purple that I want to save seeds from. Last year I was able to save seeds without using the bag method, because the purple was the only tomato variety growing on the far front side of the garden, and all the rest of the tomatoes were on the far back side of the garden. So I was not worried about cross-pollination, and I picked a tomato from way end of the season because it was a later plant from the rest of the tomatoes, and so it was still fruiting really well, and I was able to harvest it after most of the other tomatoes were harvested. And so yeah, this is an heirloom variety Cherokee purple. So I have bagged up some blossoms that have not opened up yet, and I have 2 bags going, so that way I have 2 sets of blossoms worth to harvest fruit from. And so this method is where when the blossoms open up like this, see that? So this is my patio choice. It's a hybrid yellow tomato. So when the blossoms open up like this, I just go over to the bag and I just shake it to pollinate. And then after the flowers start to disappear and the fruit starts to come on, I take the bag off before it fills up the bag too much. So yeah, so that's what I am doing. So the bags are in place. I got those on. I have those for my purple Cherokee. And then over here, I also have them for some Roma. And you can see I have a Roma there where the flower is almost opening, but then I have a set of flowers over there as well. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure I got, like I have Romas here where the flowers already opened. And so that's really exciting. But I wanted to make sure that I did not have open flowers when I put the bag on, just in case of any type of cross-pollination, since I do have some flower blossoms opened up on different varieties already. These varieties over here are all hybrids, so I did not want to cross-pollinate with the Romas, so that is why I chose the closed flower buds. So there we go. That is a method that we are trying, and we're not doing it just with the blossoms for seed collecting. I'm also trying out this method with our zucchinis. So there, hello little friendly spider, we have a zucchini. This is the zucchini that I hand pollinated a week ago, and it is beautiful. I'm so excited. Yesterday, I hand pollinated 3 more zucchinis, and I went ahead and bagged them today. Even though the flowers haven't fallen off yet, I went ahead and bagged them just to get them started. And I can go out, take the flower off in a day or 2 when the flower starts to fall off on its own, and I can take the flower out of the bag and then put the bag back on. So there we go. We have a male flower here, and then we have another female coming up, so I'm waiting. And then over here, this is a different variety, and I want to make sure that I don't cross-pollinate between the zucchinis. And so what I have here is, that's a male flower. This is a female that I pollinated yesterday morning. It has already grown twice the size from what it was yesterday morning. I don't know if you can tell, but it has already grown twice the size. So when that flower blossom falls off, I will take the bag off, I will take the blossom out, and then put the bag back on the fruit to protect it. So there we go. And You gotta be careful. You don't want to accidentally snap it. But if you look right here, I got another, right there, another little baby zucchini coming on, and I got another one hiding over there. So we got some zucchini coming, which I'm so excited about. And then over here, again, I have, this is a zucchini that I pollinated yesterday. Show you. Okay. There was a grasshopper. Get out of there. Bye, grasshopper. See you later, Jiminy. Okay, so this is a female flower, and I actually pollinated this morning. I took a male. There was a male flower right over here, right where that stem is broken, and it just fell off in my hand, nice and easy, because it had opened up a day or two ago. So it was perfectly ready to go. I took it off. I opened up the flower bud to expose the male, and then I took the male, and I basically just painted all the pollen all around the female, and then I just left the tip on the female to ensure cross-pollination. And so, or not cross-pollination, to ensure pollination. And so this flower by tonight will close up and it will be fully pollinated, and I'm so excited. And so that is one I pollinated this morning, like literally an hour and a half ago. So there we go. It is about the size up to my knuckle, so it's about there. So that is how big this zucchini was yesterday. If I can get a clear shot of it, hold on, bear with me. Oh, hey Jiminy, are you back? You see it? You see it there? So if you see right here, this zucchini here is the full length of my finger. Okay, yesterday when I pollinated it, it was to the knuckle. So it has grown twice the size in 24 hours, which is a good sign that it took, the pollination took. Now Jiminy's over here somewhere. Jiminy, we don't want you in here. Let's scare Jiminy away, huh? Make sure Jiminy's gone. Okay, anyway, so this one here, same variety as the one that I just showed you. Also, already the full length of my finger. When I pollinated it yesterday, it was half a finger. So that is really awesome, showing that the pollination took. And then as you can see, this one is as large as my hand, as long from my tip of my middle finger down to the crease in my palm there at the end of my palm. It is that long. So that is really awesome. This one is also twice the size, and this one isn't just longer, this one is also wider. So that's really exciting. So the bag method is new for me this year because I am trying, we've been doing more organic gardening for a few years, and I'm not opposed to using salts or opposed to using diatomaceous earth. I use eggshells. I will use neem oil very sparingly. I'm not a huge fan of neem oil, honestly, because it can burn the leaves. Even if you do it first thing in the morning, it can still burn the leaves. And so I'm just not a really huge fan of neem oil. And so I do have this concoction that I use for my house plants that I will try on my plants out here in the garden, but it will not deter against slugs. The type of mixture is great for spider mites or possibly aphids and all of that. So that's really great to have on hand, but I don't think it's gonna do anything against slugs. So this method, the whole bag method, is what I'm trying to do as a slug prevention, because we do have horrible, horrible slugs. And I will just show you, I have put out this organic slug bait stuff, and it was great. And then we had a lot of rain, and all of that stuff has gone. You don't see traces of it anywhere. So it's like, okay, so I gotta go get more. Well, I don't wanna be getting more slug bait all season long just to keep slugs from eating my food. So we got to figure something out. Copper is another great option. Copper's expensive. I'm not really jumping in my car wanting to go buy copper in order to protect my little garden that is supposed to save money. So I've seen this method with pennies. So that's a craft that I can help my kids help me with. We're gonna make pennies that we're not make pennies. We're gonna take pennies and we're gonna wrap them around big rocks and like hot glue them on and then place them around the garden. So that's something I'm gonna work on with the kids. It's gonna be a fun little craft. But the bags are great for easy fruits that can fit into a bag, because otherwise this is what happens. Otherwise we get these beautiful beans growing and then the slugs come and they eat. And they eat. It is so very annoying. And they get not just my beautiful beans, they get my peppers. And they get my tomatoes. It's very quite annoying. They love basil. Last year, my basil was getting demolished by slugs. It was not fun. If you go over here, this was the entry point where we had the most slug damage last year. And the things that I've planted over here this year, so far the slugs do not seem to have bothered much with. They've seemed to surpass the corn and the watermelons a little bit. I would not be surprised if I start to see more slug damage on my watermelons soon, but for now they seem to be okay. And then they're coming straight up into this area and beyond. And so that is why the bags are so important for our zucchinis this year in order to protect them from any type of slug damage. So anyway, that is a new method we're trying to stay on the organic side of things, to protect our harvest, and to not have slug damage. Like, what is that? Really? Come on. Like, you can even see I have stuff on my leaf. And I check these babies for bugs, so it's not anything else. So anyway, there we go. That is our garden update on how things are going. I also, ignore all of the mess, I also went ahead and seed started a few things for a little bit of a late plant, but still exciting. This here is a canary melon that I found at a farmer stand, and I'm really excited to try it. It's a really good melon, tastes delicious. Then over here is an acorn squash, the pan squash, and a spaghetti squash. And I'm going to try to add those actually over here where I have my bulbs that are all, you can see them all falling down. So those all need to be cut back. And then I have my jasmine growing up the lattice. I'm gonna actually plant a squash there and a squash there and a squash on the other side. And so they'll be all around there. So that's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited to incorporate more edible items around my flowering items. And then what you see going on back here are, yes, more tomatoes, because who doesn't want more tomatoes? This was actually, funny enough, this here is our experiment of sorts. And they're all been labeled. These are all varieties that we currently have in the garden. And we have yellow, we have Mountain Pride, we got Brandy Master, we got Romas. And what we did is we took suckers that we pinched off that looked really nice and firm. And we went ahead and planted them straight in the dirt. We did not root them first. We did not add any rooting agent. We just took a mix of compost and topsoil, put them in the little squares, put those suckers in, and waited. We've watered, we did a little liquid fertilizer at one point, but other than that, we've just been waiting and waiting and watching. And I've taken off a lot of the bottom leaves. This one missed, like that. And I'm taking off a lot of these bottom leaves in order to protect from any type of fungal disease or whatnot. You can see some damage going on. So if I start to see damage on a leaf, I try to come out and prune it, pick it off, just like that. Some of these I really didn't think were going to survive. They were all laying down. They just looked like death. They just looked like death. And then over a week, so that we did this a week ago. So over a week, they have all bounced up and started growing. Some of them I'm not really expecting much from. Like that one has absolutely no leaves, but it's standing up. So maybe there's something happening and we'll see. This is just an experiment. This is for fun. I have nowhere to plant all of these tomatoes. So this is just for kicks and giggles, trying out some fun planting experiments in the garden. And then we will go ahead and either give these away to friends or find a new garden plot in our yard. I don't know. We don't need more tomatoes. We have so many tomatoes already. I love tomatoes though. So, I mean, I could just grow them. So there we go. That's just some fun experiments going on. And these two are actually, these are actually just needing to go in a ground. These are waiting to go to their forever home, and they're not looking too hot. They need a little love. Need a little love in your life. And lastly, in my little garden update is our little chicken garden, as I'm calling it, where I have taken some things from the rest of the garden and replanted them over here as transplants of sorts. I'm going to add some beans because I have way overplanted beans. And I'm gonna pick some beans that are the smaller of the crop and add some over here. And I'm gonna add maybe 2 beans over here. But what you see going on is I have a cucumber and a cucumber, a marigold and a marigold, a basil and a basil. And then this little sucker right there, that is my butternut squash. And this is more so just a fun experiment, again, where, yeah, I can grow these things in a traditional garden and they can do great. But what's fun is trying something new. And as you can see, our chickens here, they are new to our life and they've knocked over their rake. I just realized that. So the rake holds their door open because their door keeps closing on them. So I gotta fix that. But what I was gonna say is that, you know, our chickens are new and we love them. We wanna love on them. And so far we've had really decent weather, really mild temperatures. It's been really nice. And so they've just been living their best life out here. While at the same time, as I know what summer is like here in South Carolina, I know what these chickens don't know is about the summer heat. And so what we're wanting to do, or rather what I'm wanting to do and my husband is allowing me to do, or he is going along with it, I guess you could say, is I'm going to take these cucumbers and I'm going to train them up the side here. And I'm going to take that butternut squash and I'm going to train it up the side. And so I'll let a cucumber go this way. I'm going to let that cucumber go that way. And I'm going to let the butternut squash go up. And I'm going to train it to go all the way over and down the other side. And I saw this idea and I thought it was so cool. And then as the little fruits start to come out, I'll let them hang down into the coop. And that could be for easy harvesting and easy snacks. So the butternut squash, more so, I'll probably protect with some bags. Hey boys, I'll probably protect the butternut squash with some bags because that's the only place I have butternut squash growing. And so I'll use those garden bags in order to protect the butternut squash. But those cucumbers, they're going to go straight to the chicks as they so desire. And it'll just be fun to see how it works. And I'll probably plant a bean somewhere up here, and I'll probably plant another bean somewhere back there. And then I'm gonna put maybe some flowers. Well, we have the marigolds. We don't need flowers. You know, I tend to overdo it a little bit, and then I have to rein it back in. So there we go. There is our chicken garden update. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garden today. I hope you really enjoyed it, learned something, or just had fun looking at the garden. I know I do. I love coming out here, and sometimes I just need to get out of the house. I have 3 kids. I love them. And sometimes I just need to get out of the house and go sit in the garden. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along, and stay tuned for more videos.